5 tips and tricks you need to know for Mass Effect 2. Hey Ansven Squad, how you doing? Are you finished with Mass Effect 1? Well then you're ready to move on to Mass Effect 2, and if you've already begun, these 5 tips may still help you out during your playthrough. Before we go on, don't forget to smash the like button and leave a comment below. As always, it helps with recommending the video to other folks out there, and don't forget to leave your own tips and tricks down in the comment section. Alright, moving on. Tip 1. Material types and upgrades. Now as soon as you have completed the intro for Mass Effect 2, you're immediately going to feel at home on the new Normandy SR2. One thing you'll notice that's missing is our dear Mako, which BioWare did a great job at improving for Mass Effect 1. Instead of using the Mako, we'll now just load up missions directly instead of landing on planets with our 6-wheeled friend. Another change is that most materials will be collected through the planet scanning mechanic.
Really, Commander? Probing Uranus.
Some of you guys might find this little minigame somewhat boring, and that's understandable, especially for you console players, since the speed of the scanner moves slowly compared to sweeping around with a mouse. Anyway, there are 4 types of materials that you can collect, each material being important for upgrades and weapons development. Ezo is the hardest to come by, so save a few drones for Ezo planets and deposits. Element 0 is used for biotic and engineering upgrades, so you'll need this to upgrade your Normandy, which becomes more important later on. Iridium is used to upgrade assault rifles, submachine guns and heavy weapons, so if you're a soldier, getting lots of iridium is a good idea. Palladium is used to upgrade cybernetics, shields, heavy weapons, heavy pistols, and armor. This is important for all classes, so be sure to collect a lot of palladium. Platinum is used to upgrade shotguns, sniper rifles, and medical equipment. It's also important for every class, but especially for vanguards and infiltrators because of the shotgun and sniper upgrade respectively. Bonus tip: if you quick scan by lightly right-clicking or tapping your controller scan button and sweeping the scanner around, you'll be able to catch potential material-rich areas if your eyes are good. It saves time and you won't have to slowly drag the scanner across the entire planet. Soon enough, you'll be the shroud of planet scanning.
Yeah. I'm right there, bump. I'm flashing.
Oh my god.
In order to upgrade your gear and develop new weapons, you need to get Morden Solus to unlock the tech lab. You can find him on Omega. So load up on those drones and happy scanning. Tip number 2. Interact with everything. Sometimes while you're strolling around on the Citadel or Omega, you might see an object get marked on your screen and you'll see a name pop up close to it.
Omega. What a piss hole. At least it keeps you on your toes. I've had to come here on business before. I feel like I need a shower afterward, in addition to normal decontamination.
This means you can interact with it. What makes this so important to check out is because it can award you with either world-building dialogue or even Paragon and Renegade points, like this encounter right here.
What are you looking at?
The man whose day I'm about to ruin.
I'm not looking for trouble.
Maybe I am. Maybe you better get out of here before I find you some.
All right. I've got stuff to do anyway. Come on, let's get out of here.
These encounters are easy to miss if you're just rushing through to get to your objectives, so make sure you check out those encounters every time you see them. You'll get even more immersed into this universe, and since you sometimes get to interact with Paragon or Renegade, this will award you with extra points into your chosen alignment, which is extremely important if you want to be able to solve almost any situation through dialogue. Another reason why you don't want to skimp out on interacting is because sometimes you'll miss weapons or datapads lying around.
This might be useful.
Datapads can sometimes be hacked, which will give you credits, so keep an eye out for anything that stands out on the screen. Tip number 3. Enemy types and class abilities. Now, enemy types and class abilities have become much more important in Mass Effect 2, as some weaknesses and strengths have been added and changed depending on what you're fighting. Not only that, but the Legendary Edition of Mass Effect 2 doesn't let you use every weapon if you pick any other class than Soldier. So your abilities are your bread and butter here. An example is Warp, which now does more damage against barriers and armor, but not shields mind you. Warp can also detonate 2 other primary abilities, such as Singularity or Pull. If any enemy is standing within the range of the singularity or is affected by pull, the enemy is going to take double damage when the combo detonates, making biotic abilities extremely powerful in Mass Effect 2, much more so than in Mass Effect 1. Now this leads us to enemy types. Some enemies have armor, some have shields and barriers, and sometimes a combination of both armor and shields or barriers. Just like Mass Effect 1, you can whittle shields down with your guns or use tech abilities such as Overload to bring down shields. Usually having one tech specialist like Tali or Kasumi, one biotic like Samara or Jack, and one soldier type squad mate is the way to go. This way you won't have to worry about being an ineffective squad against certain enemy types. The biotic specialist, like my shepherd here, takes care of barriers and armor with warp. The tech specialist can either overload shields or melt armor with incinerate. The soldier type or even soldier shepherd can just shred basically anything with a hailstorm of bullets. Another bonus tip. When you encounter flamethrower vorches, shoot the tubes on their back. They'll explode and do a lot of damage to surrounding enemies. You can also use incinerate and incendiary ammo to light them up. Speaking of shooting stuff, this leads us into tip number 4. Heavy weapons.
I am heavy weapons guy, and this is my weapon.
In Mass Effect 2, BioWare decided to include a new type of weapon that every class can use, the heavy weapon. There are different types of heavy weapons, and each one has strengths that others don't. The first one you'll find is on the Lazarus project base during the intro. This is the grenade launcher, which surprisingly is one of my favorite weapons because of its versatility.
We've been spotted.
It has a balanced ammunition storage, and the damage is pretty impressive. If you have a group of enemies standing closely together, you can usually one-shot these with one grenade.
Now let's finish you off!
What I would recommend, however, is that you save your heavy weapon ammo until you encounter a boss. An example here would be the gunship that attacks you during the Archangel recruitment mission. If you use your guns, draining the health of this thing is going to prove to be a hassle. So what do? You pull out your grenade launcher, and after firing a few shots, down goes the gunship without much of a fuss. As I said, there are other heavy weapons out there, and there is specifically one that's going to blow your mind when you find it. Trust me, Mass Effect veterans know of which one I'm talking about. So keep a lookout. Tip number 5. Loyalty missions. Now this final tip is less about gameplay, yet it's the most important tip. Since Mass Effect is a series that carries your choices from game to game, the story of Mass Effect 2 is the one that has the most impact in the final chapter, aka Mass Effect 3. Loyalty missions was something that BioWare introduced because they felt that Mass Effect 2 should be more of a character-driven journey, and it really shows. The Mass Effect 2 squad roster is the biggest of all 3 games, and every teammate has something to bring to the table. Well, except Jacob.
But the prize.
What usually makes Mass Effect 2 stand out among the games are the inclusion of the loyalty missions. As you can probably tell, these missions are something that you can undertake in order to ensure that your squad mates will never betray you. An added note to this is not only do they become loyal, but they will fight tooth and nail for you if you help them out with their personal missions. This will also have enormous value for when you get to the ending mission of Mass Effect 2. So I absolutely recommend that you do all loyalty missions before you even attempt to go here, the Omega 4 Relay, the gateway to your last mission. You'll know that you have a galaxy mission ready if Kelly Chambers tells you when you approach the galaxy map. Either that, or if you visit your squad mates. They'll tell you that they have something on their minds. A good thing to remind yourself of is to do the loyalty mission as soon as you get to pick them up. Also, go talk to your squad mates as soon as you've recruited them, as some of them will provide you with a loyalty mission immediately. Now I know this tip is pretty vague, but I only tell you this in order to avoid spoilers. If you want to know more, I have a video in the description that'll guide you appropriately up until the last mission in Mass Effect 2. Mind you, the video has spoilers in it. Also, if you're interested, you can just come over to my Twitch channel, where I'm currently streaming the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I'll probably finish the entire trilogy over there, so why don't you go over there and say hi? I'm leaving a link down below in the description, but if you just want to look it up, it's Mr. Holthen, just like you're on YouTube. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and have a great day. Until next time, Ensven Squad.